That's what we do, man's on the grind, that's what we do. Ain't gonna stop, evolving our game on a daily basis. Stay on the top of the game, escaping into the win. We ain't gonna lose, the grind don't stop. I don't need your boost, I'll see you at the top.
Cool, welcome back to the Evolve Your Game podcast. Today we're hugely excited to welcome New Zealand's surfing royalty on the podcast, Maz Quinn. One of the best surfers in the country, four-time winner of the New Zealand Surfing National Champs, winner of the 1996 Billabong Pro Junior Series, and regarded as one of the foremost surfers in New Zealand, having been on the pro circuit for over a decade. So welcome to the Evolve Your Game podcast, Maz. How's things, mate?
Yeah, good. Got a newborn, so yeah, got a lot of lack of sleep lately. So yeah. Sorry if I yawn through. It's not, I'm not being rude or anything. It's just last night was pretty rough.
Good. Nice, and congrats on the new arrival. So we'll just start right at the back at the start. I believe you're born in Huntly, then grew up in, is it Elgin or Elgin?
I was born in Hamilton.
Oh,
yeah,
Hamilton,
yeah.
okay.
I don't know if born in Hamilton, and and then my parents moved to Gisborne when I was 6 months. Yeah, so.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. Is Elgin in
Elgin.
here, or is that just
Elgin?
bad
Yeah, that's a suburb. Elgin. Yeah, grew up in Elgin. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And,
cool.
Yep.
Nice. So I believe two siblings who are also gun surfers. Holly, she wouldn't tell me her surfing background, so I had to search it up. So second place world junior champs, multiple New Zealand women's titles, New Zealand national women's titles, and current New Zealand Wellington surf champion. And then you got younger brother Jay, who under 18 world champ, three-time New Zealand champion, Welsh, British, and European champion 2017, 2019, and I believe he had a good crack at making the Olympics.
Yeah,
was that quite recent too?
Yeah, our mum's Welsh, so went tried to get on the Olympics on the Welsh team, or British. I don't know how it works.
Out? Just missed out on selection.
Yeah.
Has Olympics been in couple of years of surfing now? Is it two or is it this one, the last one, and then the one coming?
Just last year. I mean, last time Japan was the first time. Yeah, this will be the second.
Yeah. Aren't they doing it? Aren't they doing it like French?
Yeah, Chopu.
Yeah.
Pretty
It's miles and miles
heavy
away
wave in Tahiti.
France.
Yeah, just pretty good.
Yeah, cool. That'd be pretty.
It's going to be.
That'd be pretty cool, but pretty weird that it's not the same place.
Yeah, good for the people watching on the TV and live streaming and however they watch the Olympics. But because the waves amazing and scary it's not going to be in like onshore waves that sort of knee to waist high. It's going to be in big overhead waves that are they're quite intimidating.
Yeah. Cool. So that upbringing. So Gizzy was obviously pretty much spent most of your time. Can you tell us a little bit about how that panned out? What got you into surfing? Who are your sort of people that shaped you and got you into that, and that got to where you got to?
Yep. First, my parents, my old man had a choice of jobs, either in New Plymouth or Gisborne, and he chose Gisborne, and so he moved. Went from born in Hamilton, then we came to Gisborne, been here ever since. So, and then sort of, my old man surfed, and then we're just obviously down the beach every weekend, and then one of my old man's best mates gave me his old kneeboard, which is this old green single fin thing. Would have been like probably 5'6" or 5'5", and started learning on that. And then when we were sort of 12, when I was 12, my parents bought a house at Wainui Beach. and then and then it was just off Cooper Street, and then and then from then on it was just like the beach was like 20 meters away, so it was just before school, lunchtime, after school.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you get any? Do you get a lot of formal coaching, or do you just sort of self-taught, or did that come later?
We didn't really have any coaching at all. Just
really.
When the handycams came along, they were good enough to use. Personally, we just got my old man and whoever we just got to film us. Then we just watching hours and hours of old surf VHSs and pausing and rewinding slow-mo, and that was our coaching pretty much.
Yeah, nice. Did when did you kind of start taking it seriously and thinking it could be something you'd be able to make a career of?
It was pretty young. I think it was 13. I just wanted it. I was surfing lots, obviously, and just wanted to be a pro surfer and wanted to be like all the guys in the magazines and on the videos, and it just sort of I just had to put blinkers on, and just one goal was to be a professional surfer, and just had nothing. From then on I just thought that's all I wanted to be, so put everything into it and just focused on one thing, and that was it.
Yeah, cool. And when do you reckon you sort of saw it as actually something you like? It was like, did it always feel like it was a realistic thing, or was it just a bit of a pipe dream and then it became more realistic later?
I was pretty serious about it when wasn't like a fad, didn't like fade away or anything. I was just like, I was pretty focused. And then when I was 15, got sponsored by Quicksilver, and then started making some good money for a 15-year-old, and then that sort of reinforced my pursuit of being a pro surfer. Especially with their backing. Was quite having a big international company like that backing me. So it was the start pretty much.
How did that come about? Did someone just see you? They have scouts out there, or just from winning events?
1 year Quicksilver brought the whole lot of Aussie guys from overseas to Gisborne, or just a trip around New Zealand, and they stopped in Gisborne, and we ended up surfing a lot with them, and then Quicksilver offered me a sponsorship not long after. It was pretty just sort of in the moment thing. Lucky to be there. Lucky someone saw me. But
Nice. Do you play many other sports or anything else? I think Holly mentioned you kicked around with Rico Gear for a little bit playing footy.
Primary and intermediate, we were on the same rugby team. So I was playing rugby till third form, and then broke my wrist, and that kept me out of the water for ages, and then I was off it, so then I stopped playing.
Nice. Just footy? Any other sports?
No, just rugby. Oh, cricket as well. Nice. When I was in school as well.
Cool.
Not for the school or anything. But
cool. And do you think playing those other sports helped much with your surfing?
In the end, it was a hindrance because I just wanted to surf and not go to practice, and so probably not. But and surfing's so different. It's so individual. You got to. It's like you got to be quite selfish to be a surfer because it's all about. It's not a team sport really. Oh, it isn't at all. So it's a little bit different. No, it was I definitely enjoyed the team atmosphere.
Yeah, nice. So I chucked your name into ChatGPT to try and just see if it knew much about you. And it came back with some good stuff. But one thing it particularly said is you have a bit of a funky surf routine. I don't know if is that true, or is there anything you do pre and before doing a surf?
I used to whatever I did in my first heat prep of that contest, I'd do exactly the same thing in every single heat after that. So it can be anything from, I don't know, we walk down the beach and way open the car, way I wax my board. It can just be anything. Or it's just I just follow that routine exact in every heat from the first heat. Yeah. I guess that's I guess a lot of servers have that sort of.
Pretty similar to cricket.
Oh,
People just favorite undies.
It's pretty weird. It's just wetsuit, just everything, just
Nice. So I think 1999 was kind of a bit of a breakthrough year. So you claimed your first New Zealand championship, and then you became the first New Zealander to win a qualifying series event, World Qualifier Series event. What sort of changed you for that year, and was anything different, or did things just click?
I had been on the. I think I started doing the WQS in '96, and just pretty much lost every heat all year, which was pretty demoralising. And then it's obviously just kept at it, and then just. Like anything, sometimes everything clicks in, and I was surfing this beachy in France, Angoulette, which was very similar to Wainui, my home break, and just everything just fell. It was like I think everything just went my way, and just you get in that zone as a sports person, and everything came my way, and surfed really well, and ended up winning that event.
Yeah, nice. In terms of, once you got further into your career, so sort of that point, does sort of some formal coaching come in there? Like, is there a New Zealand team that has a New Zealand coach, or is it just you still doing your own thing?
I've never had a coach ever.
Wow.
When we were in New Zealand teams and that, we had coaching. But nothing like today. Like coaching was just someone at the beach giving you a different opinion of where to go and what to do and stuff like that. In the early years, when we were having scholastic contests for the Gisborne board riders or Gisborne team, we actually did quite a bit of training then, like gym work, pool work, and mock heats, and so we had a little bit, but definitely not full time. Like I said earlier, the best thing that we were doing for ourselves was just videoing each other. That was
cool. Nice.
And just replaying and trying to copy all the pros overseas, his style and technique, and
Would sort of Holly and Jay, would you guys sort of critique each other or anything like that, or is it sort of your own doing just your own stuff?
Yeah, I was away a lot when they were just starting to get really good at surfing. So but when it came back, it was a bit like that, you could say.
Yeah. Do you have anyone else that you would lean on if you're like to show that footage, or?
I grew up with a good group of guys. They were all on the same street, which was lucky, and we'd take turns videoing and come in, take turns, or one of our parents would film, and that's sort of how it went.
Yeah. But in terms of like critiquing each other, did you guys look like?
Well, back then it wasn't really critiquing; it was just taking the piss out of each other.
Nice. So, and then your international sort of stuff came about. Sort of, I mean, obviously you started in '96, but in 2001 came the first New Zealander to qualify for the World. Is it WCT World Championship Tour, which is top 44 back then, was it?
Back then, yeah.
What was that like? The step up and what?
I had a pretty. Well, I was finishing round about in the 40s every year since sort of '99, and sort of just stagnating around that zone. And then in 2001, it sort of started off pretty slow again, and then me in mid-year South Africa, I think. Yeah, I was got a 5th and a 6-star, which was like one of the biggest WQSs at the time, and so a semi-final, and that sort of started it. And then within five contests, I got 5 results. I got like what was it, 2 5ths, 2 3rds, and a 9th, I think, and within 6 weeks. And the last contest was still in August, I think. Got a 3rd in France and qualified like with sort of 4 months to go in the year. So it was it was some sort of run I went on, and I just remember the waves being really good, and every stop there, the waves were really good, which helped. And the French leg, which is 3 comps, was just, the waves were pumping. It was just amazing for contest, because the WQS was just usually put out is put out in anything. There's no waiting periods and nothing. It's just, if it's 1 foot and onshore that day, that's what you're surfing. And it just happened that year. It was just every comp was sort of overhead waves, and just like I said earlier, it's French beaches a lot like Wainui and Gisborne, and I was just so comfortable. Yeah,
cool, nice. And then so there's WCT, and then there's the ASP as well. So you qualify for that in 2002?
Yeah, 2001. It's that's world. WQ. Qualified for the WCT. Yeah, which is like
so
the top 44 servers in the world. Yeah.
Oh, it's the same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Cool. Nice. And then 2004, the Pipeline Masters Hawaii. You managed to grab a semi-final, which I don't remember how that works, but what's the difference to the Pipeline Masters compared to those other events?
No,
is it a different?
I don't know where that came from.
All right.
I never got a semi. No, in the first when I qualified, I got a 5th, and which is a quarterfinal, because it goes man on man. But it was like at the time it was the highest placed rookie ever for their first year on tour. Which was pretty cool.
So how does what's the Pipeline Masters in terms of the difference between those other comps?
It's just the WCT contest, but it's the last one of the year. It used to finish at Pipe.
That's one of them.
Now it starts at Pipe. Yeah, so it used to be like the pinnacle contest of the year. Yep. Yeah,
nice. We put a couple of questions out on Instagram, and I don't know if you know Cam Duke. He asked, in 2005, when you got a wild card into the ASP World Tour in France, he said that it was the height of the Kelly Slater versus Andy Irons sort of rivalry. He said both of you in the mix. Both of them were in the mix, and you had sort of Andy Irons on the ropes. Got an 8+ wave, and then he managed to sneak past you, but Kelly took the title out. So, can you run us through a little bit about what was competing with those those legendary guys?
That year, I got a wild card, did the trials and ended up getting 2nd and got a wild card into that comp, and then won my first heat, and then came against Andy in the 3rd round, and got off to an amazing start. It's like 6 to 8 foot and Hossegor, a real big beachy. Got an amazing first wave, and then he came back and then ended up getting me right at the end, but I had a wave and fell off my last wave, which just replayed in my mind about 1 million times since. But it was a real close heat, and a lot of people said I should have won the heat, but it is what it is. But it was a real and if I'd won that heat, Slater would have won the world title right there. So when I went back on the beach afterwards, because Quicksilver sponsored it, there was like champagne bottles everywhere, unpopped, because everyone was ready to go, because I thought I had won, and it was pretty crazy. It was like so many people on the beach. But yeah, by the time I came home, it was just no one. It was But then Kelly ended up winning the world title at the next contest stop. But
yeah.
it would have been pretty cool to have that feather in your cap saying "Bet Andy," and then Slater won the world title.
Yeah, there's I imagine, like, I guess with surfing, you know, that with the judging element to it, it must be pretty, you know, like you have those you might have a ride where you think you've done pretty well, and then it comes down to the judges. Does that? How do you sort of get your head around that sort of mentally and stuff? Do you just
there's always going to be because there's people judging. It's always going to be errors depending on who you like and who you go for and stuff.
Biases.
I mean, it's a hard one. That's why there's 5 usually. So and then they cut out the low and the high score and then average it out. So cool. Usually it's pretty good. Most of the time it's pretty good, but occasionally there'll be some heats. You just scratch your head and just but that's just the way it is. I mean, everyone's got different views and opinions, and it's no different to judges. So
yeah, for sure. What about just knocking around with those guys? Like, what's their outside of the surfing? Like, is it something where you guys all hang out and socialise, or is it keep to yourselves? Is there anyone particular that was helpful to you as a surfer?
Most guys hang out and travel together and hang out outside of surfing, especially when travelling each other all year and surf flat or whatever. And everyone hangs out together and all the top.
Anyone you're particularly close with?
What's that?
Anyone you're particularly close with
on tour? When I was doing the CT, I was hanging out with Jake Patterson and Richie Lovett and Mick Campbell. A few, sort of, mainly Aussie guys. But
nice. Did what was like this Kelly Slater and those Andy Irons guys? Are they pretty chill guys? Are there anything different about those guys?
They're all pretty top guys. They're all pretty chill. Slater's the only one that sort of hung by himself and did things differently, and the Phantom. You never see him, and then all of a sudden he pops up out of nowhere.
Really? Do you think that's what made him better, or is it just his personality?
He's just extremely competitive, like anything he does. But like anything, you won't see him, and his heat's about to start, and then all of a sudden he's out there 2 minutes before the start of his heat. So
right. Is that, do you think, not trying to give away his routines and stuff?
He's probably just trying to get in people's heads more like it.
Nice. So I don't really know how this works, but I've heard actually talk about this a little bit, about how the funding and sponsorship and payment and stuff works with surfing. So for you, how did that sort of, was it something that was at times easy and then difficult to get? Like, do you get paid just from obviously the sponsorship and then there's prize money? But how was that journey?
I was pretty lucky. Like I said, I got picked up at Quicksilver at a young age, and then through the 90s to early 2000s, surfing was companies were just creaming it. So there was so much money floating around then. I was well backed and had really good sponsors and was getting paid pretty well. The contest prize money was pretty crap at the time. It's not too bad now, but it was pretty average. But you made most of your money from sponsorship, and then you'd go somewhere, and Quicksilver would have houses everywhere. So you'd go to France, and they'd have a Quicksilver house. Go to Hawaii, they'd have a Quicksilver house. Go to America, have a Quicksilver house, sort of thing. So but you still have.
And would you
still have to pay?
Would you be living with the other athletes that were also sponsored by them?
You still have to pay for flights and that, but most of the time accommodation was picked up. or there's houses to stay at. Yeah.
And that's changed a bit now.
Well, it's way hard. It seems super hard even to get sponsorship now.
Right.
Yeah, when I was growing up, if you surfed okay, you got pretty good sponsorship, and everyone was sponsored on the QS. But now it's like there's blank boards everywhere. Like,
Really?
it's like so hard. And the money's dried up quite a lot. The top guys get paid real well now, like way more than when I was on there. But just the middle end guys trying to break into this WCT, some of them getting nothing, no sponsorship at all. So,
right.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. It's definitely hard. And those big, those big surf company brands have just gotten so small now, and their budgets have just gotten squeezed out and tiny. So,
wow.
I don't know what's happened, but.
Is there many Kiwis sort of knocking around that are far off that sort of that level at the moment?
Yeah, there's that Kehu Butler and Billy Stearman are over in Australia doing the Challenger Series, which is the WCT feeder sort of circuit. But yeah, they're the next two guys. Yeah.
Cool. So in terms of the mental side of things, I imagine I'm not a surfer. I'm a pretty a bit of a boogie boarder at best, and not a great swimmer, so it's never really worked out for me. But I imagine surfing those big waves must take a bit of courage, and there must be a bit of fear of risk of injury and that sort of thing. Is there stuff you guys did to work on that sort of your game?
Sorry. There's the big wave stuff. It's just surfing it all the time, really. Getting more comfortable. So, but some guys get real comfortable and some guys don't. So it's just, it's just surfing those waves all the time. And it depends where you grow up as well. Like if you get a lot of big swells and that, it definitely helps. But Kelly Slater is one of the best in the big waves, and he came from Florida, so that's like tiny all the time. So it's just putting that time in the big waves, and it's definitely a confidence thing. You're always going to get a good thrashing here and there, but it's just the way you just have to keep going and sort of some of the contests are in big waves, and if you sort of pull back on some waves in front of all your competitors, then you're going to lose respect. So you just got to go.
So, and you never had any sort of sports psychologists or any mental skills people do that with you like that?
No, I never had any of that. No, and surfing's definitely a confident sport. Like, the more confident you are, the less you think about it, all the outside noise. So, and obviously the better you'll surf. It's just like anything in life, I guess. When you're full of confidence, but especially in sport, sort of when you're on a roll or real confident, you sort of feel like nothing can stop you, and I guess that's with any sport though. And then when you're low on confidence and get a few losses, it seems to add up. But
is it more common now to have
the top guys have everything and they travel with everyone, so it's pretty crazy. And
do you think when you back in the day, was it the same for everyone else? When is just because those things weren't available so much?
What's that? Sorry.
Was back in the day when you were doing it, was it just less available to everyone, or was
definitely, it wasn't until when I was doing, not many people had, or if anyone had coaches, and it wasn't until Mick Fanning, he qualified the same year I did. Not until Mick Fanning a few years later started having coach and started dietitian and everything. So so he was kind of the guy, and he was training hard out. So he was sort of the guy who brought training and mindset coaches and everything into the sort of game. From what I saw, it might have happened earlier, but from what I saw, he was like the guy get super focused and do. So, but he was
cool.
But then at the same time on land, he was just like mellow as, hung with everyone and everything. So yeah, but when he was in the Connie's, he was a beast. He was just like by himself, fully focused. Yeah,
right.
Didn't want to talk to anyone.
Cool. So was it? I'll just see if the numbers right. You internationally retired at 2009, and then retired competitively 2007. 17, sorry.
Yeah, still did the odd contest.
Then we come back
still
in 2018.
Yeah, not overseas, but still did odd local comp.
Yeah. What's made you come? What made you decide that sort of time was right to retire from?
I just had been doing it for 12 or so years, 10 years on tour, and sort of probably longer traveling around. So yeah, I don't know, just burnout. It was pretty full on. It was just week in, week out, and I think it just
living out of suitcase.
Started the contest and going to each place, and just started to just didn't started not liking it. So that was time. I was just like,
cool. Passion's not there. Yeah, cool. But obviously maybe the desire for the international competition wasn't there, but you still obviously kept surfing. So I believe post-retirement you did some guiding at a wave park in Indonesia. That sounded a pretty sweet gig.
Yeah, friend of mine, Christy Carter, he sort of lived half in next door neighbour, half in America. He's got American parents. And he grew up in Gisborne half the time, and then he made this amazing resort out in the Mentawai Islands, Wave Park. And then one year he was home for summer, and we were just yarning, and then I joked, "Oh, you don't need a bartender at your resort." And he goes, "Nah, but I need a surf guide." And then that's where it started. And then for about 4 years in a row, just went over there being a surf guide, sort of taking guests, just surfing amazing waves every day. And
sounds good.
The resort's it's not very big. It's only like 8 bungalows for 2 people. But just amazing bungalows, and just a real good surf break out the front, and incredible. Just exactly if you ever think of a tropical island paradise, that's pretty much it. But it's good. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
but
cool. Is he
he's
still
over there
there
at the moment. Yeah. They shut down during COVID.
Nice.
He was back in Gisborne, and then they opened up again. And but it was good. It was just taking because it was only sort of 12 people max at a time. Cool. It was good. It was sometimes bad because when you get a group of surfers that weren't that confident, you'd always go to the small breaks and then be leaving all the good breaks behind. So that was the hard part of it. But when you get a group of real confident surfers, they want to surf all the heavy waves and the real amazing waves, and it's like a dream job, really.
Yeah, nice. And obviously you're working with Holly now at Salt Shack.
Yes,
surf school.
I'm just helping out now and again.
How long's that been going?
Not really. Just in summer she just opens sort of from Labour weekend to Easter, 6 months roundabout, and then so I just help out now. A few days a week.
Yeah, nice. Have you done much of that? Much else in between the Indonesia and now?
No.
Work-wise? Really. Nice. That sounds good. What do you do to keep yourself busy? And
when I was making good money, my old man took me aside one day and said, "Look, is where we're going to put your money, because you're just spending it like there's no tomorrow, which you do. And the more money you make, the more you spend. So I just end up getting rentals, and so that's pretty much how I live.
Nice. How good. And then just keep a bit of surfing and looking after the young fella now.
Well, to be honest, the probably last sort of I got a not a compressed spine. It's a what was it? I had a back injury. I can't remember exactly what it was called. I can't remember. But anyway, I started CrossFit, and then it's probably the most fittest we've ever been. Has been the last 5 years.
Nice.
So I've been serving heaps, and just sort of focusing on health and eating good and training hard and surfing.
Done any competitions for the CrossFit, or you just done it
fitness? And because I had my back injury, and then I went to see a back specialist, and he said he had a sloppy core, so I was just like, what the hell? Thought my core would be all right. And then that was one of the things he said, just because it focused on core so much. And since then I just had no back problems at all, and just loving it.
Nice. Good. It's good we vibe. I do CrossFit too, and my wife's into it, so it's pretty good going to the gym and not just sitting there doing weights. You got a crew around you and some people to compete against. And
heaps of my surfer mates go as well, so it's a cool group. And
nice.
And it's not just one focus. It's it's everything.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty humbling, because you can be good at lifting, but then terrible at gymnastics. Great. You can be finished first in one workout and last week.
It's definitely I really enjoy it, and it's been sort of about 6 or 7 years maybe. So
cool. Nice.
I haven't looked back really, and like I said, it's probably the fittest we've ever been. Crazy, but it's good.
Yeah, cool. Nice. So a couple of wee things that Holly reminded me about. You're on Celebrity Treasure Island at one point.
A long time ago, yep.
What was that experience like? What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty fun. We were in Fiji. And who was Cronfeld was on there. Yep.
Like Brent Todd. Was it Simon?
He was a good man. It was a blast. It was pretty funny. It was on an island.
How far did you end up getting?
3. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Cronfeld ended up taking it out.
Did
Yeah.
Oh, did he? Yeah. He'd be.
Yeah,
he'd be a surfer too, wouldn't he?
He goes all right. Yep.
Yeah.
He's a frother. Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah. And then she said, I don't remember.
Yeah, that was
but you're
more
on Dancing
recent.
with the Stars as well.
A few years ago. It was on that. Had a bit of a shocker on there. But
Nah. Are you a dancer? Like,
no, I thought I'd go
natural
right.
Natural
but
dancer.
it was actually quite bad.
Couple of beers. What was that? Was that?
That was
fairly out of
your
comfort zone.
why I did it. I was like doing that on live, because some of them were on live TV. It was with an audience. It was pretty nerve-wracking, and if you slip up, there's no retake or anything. That's it's out there. But no, it was good. I was shit myself in every single one, but it was good. Definitely. Because I don't usually get out of my comfort zone too much, but that was definitely a big one.
Nice. Cool. So we've got a couple of questions from the viewers. One was, what do you think the biggest challenge facing competitive surfers today is?
Sponsorship, for sure.
Getting
the money to get overseas and do the contests. When I was doing it, like it was to do a full year, it was about 50K for everything. I wouldn't know what it would be now. It'd be way more, I'd say.
Definitely. Especially since COVID, the flights have gone
it's it's structured a little bit differently now, the competitions. But it's just sponsorship, getting money to someone to back you to get over there and do it, and not have to worry about, picking up a shovel and doing some, But it's just, it's just having someone back you so you don't have to worry about anything. All flights, everything's taken care of, and it's just that's the biggest thing these days that I can see.
Yeah, nice. What advice would you give someone just starting out surfing and wanting to make a career of it?
It's probably just to get someone to film you all the time. You can get someone to film you all the time. That's such a bonus, because then you can critique and see what you're doing badly, see what your strengths are, follow, look at other people's technique, and you can fix it so quickly these days with just doing video analysis. So, and also you've got to be hungry. You've got to want it like there's no tomorrow. Like nothing, you don't want nothing else. Just to be hungry and surf a lot, and just to be a beast in the competition. Don't back down for anyone and just go hard.
Yeah, nice. One for Felix Jones. I don't know if you know him. What's your favourite surf break in New Zealand other than Gizzy or Mahia?
Oh, shit. Piha. I really like Piha. Spent a lot of time at Piha. Cool. Really like it. Piha, and down south to Dunedin, got some amazing waves. Probably shouldn't really say which ones, but nice. There's a lot of waves down there and the Catlins, deep south, amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, cool. Yeah. I was just in Piha over the weekend doing Dave Wood's mental skills thing. That's me, That's probably the reason I never got into surfing is I almost drowned when I was about 8, so I hate my head being underwater. But in his course, he did lots of stuff around getting uncomfortable and doing that stuff, and we ended up having to crawl at the bottom of a pool with weights on and crawl through the whole pool and back. I reckon I'd had my head underwater for no longer than 10 seconds the last 20 years of my life. So that was pretty cool to be able to do that. So maybe I can start surfing now.
Piha's not the best place to learn, but it's pretty dangerous beach for learners, but for
rescue,
confident surfers, it's an amazing beach.
Yeah, nice. DK, Daniel Kediopa, he actually replied, which is pretty cool. He asked, what were the qualities that made you the best New Zealand surfer and a world championship surfer?
It was probably that hunger from being 13 and wanting to be a professional surfer, and that's all I wanted to do was, and that's all I sort of thought about. Everything I ate, every time, it's everything that's just the hunger to be a professional surfer and make a living out of it, and just wouldn't stop at anything without achieving it. I just went, everything I could to do that. It was just a focus and nothing like laser-eyed at being a professional surfer, and it was just it was Yeah, it was just
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
It was, like,
It's a hunger and discipline, pretty much.
yeah, as a young kid, yeah, just I was just getting up early, surfing, you know, 3 times a day, eating, being too knackered at night to go out and
Yeah.
party all the time when you're a teenager. And
Yeah, it's getting trouble.
I was just,
Yeah,
that's all I wanted to be.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
just, I don't know, it's just this steely sort of eyed glaze to be a pro surfer, and I just would not stop until I was achieved it. Pretty much, it was, I don't know. That's the main sort of takeaway I think for me. It was just just setting that goal, which at the time seemed pretty high, but just stopping at nothing.
Did you actually write that down and put it somewhere, or is it just a thought?
My mum actually made me write this thing above my bed, so every time I went to sleep was the first and last thing I saw. Like, what would it say? I was like, something like, I don't want to be a beach bum, I want to be a professional athlete, something like that. So something along those lines.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yes,
No.
and but they helped me immensely. Like,
I think
took me to all the contests when I was a kid and everything. So there's a lot of they helped me pave the way. That's for sure.
Yeah, nice. I think it's pretty powerful, having it not just like a lot of people think about a goal and have it in mind, and writing it down is one thing, but putting it somewhere you can see it daily. Yeah, it's a big difference, So nice, awesome, man. Really appreciate your time. Really enjoyed. I'm not a big surfer, so it's cool to learn from different codes. We primarily do a lot of rugby cricket stuff, so I really wanted to meet some guys from different codes and learn from you guys. So, but we do have a lot of viewers who are surf orientated. They're pretty keen to hear. So, yes, thanks so much for your time. All the best for the rest of your career and whatever you're going to do.
Thank you. No, it's good being on.
You get some sleep.
Cheers. It's good. Hopefully, everyone get some sleep tonight. It was a bit of a rough one last night. All right. Thank you. Cheers, mate.
Awesome, man. Thanks so much. Thanks for listening to the Evolve Your Game podcast. Hope you've taken some insight and enjoyed what we had to offer today. Make sure you like and subscribe and share on your socials. Tag us. We would like to see who's listening. And we'll catch you back next week on the Evolve Your Game podcast.